Hello, 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 and welcome to the Seleucid campaign on Rome Total War. I am the Mad King of Carthage, and we are back with a campaign. So, straight from the off, well, let's just say, I'm doing the commentary after the video. It's not live commentary, unfortunately. I'm still trying to figure out how that works with Bandicam. But we're just going to go with the flow here. So, I'm just going to say what's going on, sort of. That's what a commentary is, right? But initially I thought let's build on the economy, but the Seleucids actually have a pretty strong economy. They have quite good profits, and their populations aren't that bothered about the tax rates at the moment anyway. So I decided, right, let's focus on military. So the first thing I do is head towards the city of Halicarnassus, just there by the big mausoleum thing. Hire a few mercenaries to strengthen the army, because I'm obviously going to want to take as many cities as possible as quickly as I can, because the Egyptians, I know, are on their way, and you're going to need a big army to fend them off. So obviously I put Halicarnassus under siege, and now I focus on, well, small garrisoning troops in the slightly less populated areas. I mean, there's the capital, Antioch. I send my diplomat in the direction of the Greek city-states, because I'm thinking, you know, perhaps an alliance and trade rights and all that stuff that keeps everything positive, especially the money, which, you know, the last thing you want to do is run out of money when you're fighting the Egyptians. Now, the Egyptians generally, when you're playing as the Seleucids, turn up on your front door within the first 5 turns. If not, they're sat right on the border. I mean, obviously this being the first turn, they're not there yet, because they don't actually have, well, they do have loads of troops, they're just not that strong, so they're just going to wait a bit, and they've got a bit of a walk. Now, the Seleucid campaign is rather interesting. The way you play as the Seleucids, it's quite different to how you would others. I mean, the Seleucids have phalanxes as their infantry, that's it. So they're not very strong swords wise, apart from obviously the Silver Shield Legionnaires, which you get very late on in the game once you build up. The Silver Shield Legionnaires are incredible units for the Seleucids. They literally, you just get those, some Silver Shield pikemen, and your army's pretty much unstoppable. Add a bit of companion cavalry to it, and the Seleucids are pretty much the best in my books. I mean, Carthage are amazing. I did think about doing a Carthage campaign, but a lot of people have done that. Generally, the Seleucid one campaign, the Seleucid campaign was the one which I did, which I was devastated about when I lost the file, because for some reason I think it got corrupt. I think that was one of the reasons. But it was my most successful campaign in terms of views, so I just thought, you know what, let's do it again. Now, as you saw there, the rebels drove Alexander, my general, back, because, well, they had a much larger army than me. I have cut out a couple of turns, because basically all I did was build units and stuff. Nothing really happened. There's the Egyptians, as you just saw. They were at the bottom of the screen. So they're going to be a problem within the next couple of turns, but as you can see, the richest faction is now the Julii. Yeah, the frame rate on my PC isn't that great with campaign for some reason. I don't know what it is, but you're just going to have to put up with it for the moment. My PC is pretty much towards the end of its life, and I'll be looking to upgrade. I think we got drove back. Yeah, we did. So now we're going to assault to get a bit of revenge. Now, as you can see, the battle is pretty even stats-wise. That's their army, so they've got stronger hoplites, pretty much the same missile units. They don't have any cavalry, which is going to be key. So this battle is rather long. The battle difficulty, by the way, is on medium difficulty. I thought that was reasonable. So I cut out the start of the fight and the deployment, because that was basically a missile slug-off, where the Cretan archers and Rhodian slingers just basically had a standoff with each other. And my ones came out on top, because they have a little bit of experience, and I put them in loose formation, and the PC does not put their units in loose formation. So as you can see, I'm marching in the mercenary hoplites, and I'm preparing to flank with the mercenary peltists, which used all their missiles. I had to make sure that I had a flanking maneuver because it was very difficult to dig these guys out. It really was. So here we go with a charge from the peltists, and it was effective enough to break those hoplites. As you can see, it was a bit of a even match, but they're pretty much the same unit, except one is just mercenary. Then I need to charge in another group of hoplites, militia hoplites, because it was getting a bit messy. It certainly wasn't straightforward. Like I said, digging them out took a long time. But this was an important part of the battle, and now I'm going to make use of the 12 horses that I have in the general unit. You can all tell what's coming. All you Rome Total War players are going to know what's coming. I'm going to smack them in the back with the cavalry, which will just, well, eventually it annihilates their phalanx, and that's them routed. And I'm going to chase them down as well, I think. Well, there goes the general. So that's a big moment. Then we have, well, they're very disorganized. The rebels, very well. I mean, they're rebels. They're slaves. They don't really know what they're doing. So I want to take out their Rhodian slingers with my cav. I lost 3 units, unfortunately, but we get away with it. It's still very disorganized. Both armies are disorganized as it stands. I mean, as you saw, the peltists and the mercenary hoplites are having a little bit of fun in the gateway. That's as far as I'm going to go with that. Now, I thought I'd got rid of all their hoplite units, but they had 1 remaining at the town square. So basically, I wanted to take out as many units as possible to prevent them from regrouping. But once those got to the town square, I thought, right, well, there's no point in chasing them. We're going to do a bit of a crossfade. There we go. Look at that, beautiful stuff. So this is where I get all the hoplites into position. Some of them were in loose formation, unfortunately. It's, like I said, very disorganised after the slug off with all the missile units. But I had to move them pretty quick because the other hoplites were heading towards us, and I didn't want my Cretan archers, who seemed rather obsessed with, I didn't notice it at the time, but they were chasing someone, and unfortunately ended up using all their missiles, but I could deal with that. So as you can see, they're slowly marching towards us in a rather interesting formation. Looks like the spear formation, where one guy just stands at the front and they gradually, well, it's the worst phalanx I've ever seen. Quite frankly, it is just horrendous. Just one guy and then another guy turns up, and it's just, you know, they're terrible. I don't even know what they were thinking. It was never going to work. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh wait, we're not in formation, quick, let's just get in formation whilst we attack one group. So I'm just like, I'm not having this. I'm not having a complete noob unit attack me, you know, and attempt to even win. So I'm just going to absolutely annihilate them by spearing them in the backside. Yeah, they didn't last long. Rather, you know, it was a rather pathetic attempt at trying to phalanx on phalanx me, which, you know, quite frankly, I mean, they're rebels, but they're Greek units. Come on, they should know better than that. They put the entire of Greece to shame with that maneuver. So obviously we're gonna plough these last few down. The Cretans and the Cretans are out of ammo, so they're having a go as well. It's all rather entertaining to see how weaker units are just gonna take it out. A lovely cheer from the peltists. They're like, we killed someone hand to hand. Woohoo! Yeah, that's awesome. So I see they've got a few peltists left, and I'm just like, well, they will become a problem sooner or later in the town square. So Mr. General Alexander, not Alexander the Great, just a random general called Alexander, which I think is awesome because I'm playing as a Greek faction. Seleucids are Greek, I think. So we're going to send in Alexander to just completely annihilate this peltist group. We're going to get a bit of a third-person view of it. Look at that. Just slice, slice. Just completely and utterly rip them apart. It's some rather fantastic armour that he's wearing. Really nice, silvery, fantastic. I think the general skins on this are pretty good in most cases. I think that I've seen other skins, custom skins. Anyway, another crossfade as the hoplites are marching towards the centre. The general unit is down that road on the right, so you'll see him pop up in a minute. But as you can see, they're coming towards us with a phalanx. It's going to be more phalanx on phalanx action. We just get the phalanx down in time, and then I give the order for the general to come in and do a good job. Now, for some reason, I don't know what the reason was, but my it was militia hoplite versus militia hoplite, but for some reason my one gets completely and utterly annihilated, and they rout. They run away just before it's done. But fortunately, it held them in place just long enough for the cavalry charge to hit. Oh, goodness, the frame rate's horrendous, but oh well, we'll carry on nonetheless. And then that's pretty much given us the victory. I mean, there's what, 3 Cretan archers and about 20 hoplites remaining. So we just get in position to take the final stab. That's how it goes, I think. So there you go, phalanx on a 3-man phalanx versus a 30-man phalanx. I think there's only one winner there, and it's a rather heroic last stand by the rebels, but they have no chance. But even the Cretans, they're still going. No, it's a last heroic stand, but it's not going to work. And they're still holding pretty nicely. They're still tearing up my militia hoplites because they're better trained. But then, of course, Mr. Alexander is just going to pop in there, stab them all on the back of the face, the back of the head, the back of the face. Come on, I suppose it's the back of the head. And look at that, a rather nice victory there. We've completely wiped him out, and that is Halicarnassus under Seleucid control. A rather successful victory there, clear one for that matter. So there's the stats, rather wonderful. So we get straight back into the swing of things in the campaign battles. It's rather magnificent. And yes, loading screen, a rather nice quote that I can't read because I'm looking at it on a small screen on my well, it's not Movie Maker, it's Video Pad, video editor, and when I'm narrating it, I have to narrate over a small screen for some reason. Anyway, so I decide to, well, I figure out what's best. I have a look at, you know, what I could get. I thought about exterminating it, but then what's the point? There's only 800 of them. So I take it, occupy it, rebuild the walls, and then I think, should I build troops or should I build the economy? And then I thought, nah, we'll build troops initially. We need some kind of hoplite unit. So up the tax rate because I want more money, you know, and disband these hoplites because they're going to cost a lot of money to keep going, and there's only a few of them. So it's always important that you manage your mercenaries very well, because I think if you hire them for a battle, disband them afterwards, because they become quite a drain on your resources just for paying them, as useful as they are. Send Alexander back to that settlement, because I just thought they could probably use a bit of leadership there. There's only a peasant unit and a militia unit. And he also gets the benefit of a bronze sword upgrade, simply because I have a temple there which gives bronze upgrades. Anyway, so as you can see, that's the states there, and over here, yep, like I said, the Egyptians on my doorstep. So we're going to be prepping for their arrival, which will probably be in the next video, which I haven't done yet. I'm sort of recording this on the fly, as well, I say on the fly, this is the first video, so I haven't recorded it yet. And yes, we have a wonder of the world, the Mausoleum of Halicarnassus. Yeah, look at that, it's jumpy as hell. But yeah, I think that was how we were gonna I think that's how we left it. Just gonna have a look at the trait increases and stuff. But anyway, thank you for joining me for the first part of the Seleucid campaign, and hopefully you can join me for the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.